can, can I share how bad this is really be? I when you said let me play this live, I was really I was over here waiting for. I need to do that now that I have played with myself, and I was literally like waiting for a live that is
Mm-hmm.
not there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's on me. I'm
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll get to it. Yeah, that's on me. That is on me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on me.
Yeah. I told El Teddy I was gonna play the intro. You know the intro we don't have.
Mm.
That one. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Hey everybody coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So listen, Ravine said you played with yourself. Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Don't do that. Don't do me.
You know what? The Informed, remind me to check the watch hours. I'll look it up while we're going through the live, and I will let you guys know. I actually was going to give y'all an update on my tribe meeting, but I'll do that before we get off of here because I know some of y'all have really been playing it, and I've been doing it too. So we're
I
going to,
do it when I go to bed. Like I'll have it playing on one of my computers
yeah,
when I
that's
go
what
to
I've been
bed.
trying to do as well, is just play it while I'm, that so as well. So I'll give you guys an update because well, I ain't gonna say we're not that far. I'll give you the update before we get there. Because that is definitely our goal by the end of the year is get our watch time hours, and maybe we can go into our new season in January being fully monetized with an intro. That gives El Teddy a little over 2 months to get an intro together.
Don't do
Mhm.
that. Don't do that.
I'm saying, wouldn't it be nice to start off the new year monetized with a new intro, a whole new look? Wouldn't that be? Listen, moving right
Praise
along.
God, from whom all blessings flow.
So listen, you guys, as you guys know, I think we are going to move the show from Wednesdays to Tuesdays because at my job, it seems like whenever they want to schedule an after school meeting for whatever reason, they do Wednesdays. I don't know. Okay. Oh, the Informed said Anna outro.
Do you want to do one for us, sir? Sir? 'Cause I'm the one that got to do all of the editing and stuff.
So with
I'm the
that
one
being,
doing all of the heavy lifting over
with
here.
well, he ain't lying about that part because y'all know I don't know how to do no intro or edit. That is not the talent that God gave me. And by the time I play around with it, it'd be another 4 years. But moving right along. This morning we got this big announcement from the Department of Education and the wrestling lady and the orange guy.
Not the wrestling lady.
Because I'm not gonna
Wrestling. I mean,
exactly
she is the wrestling lady. She is.
okay.
She is.
Where they basically made this announcement about student loan forgiveness. Now, Tracy, because y'all know that Tracy be on top of it, Tracy then already sent me the actual document that outlines everything. But rather than bore you guys with reading 5 pages of legalese, we're gonna read through this. We're gonna read through an article that kind of gives us what the ins and the outs are, and see what it is. Now, this is what I'm gonna say. No, I'll wait till after I read the article because my opinion might change. Because I haven't read any. I just saw the headline and I read a little bit of what Tracy sent me, but I was at work, so to be fair, I haven't read it. So I'm gonna reserve my opinion until after I've at least read through this article. So let's get into this article on this student loan forgiveness that was announced today. Boom shakalaka. Here it is right here. Let me make sure. Let me see if there's a paywall on this one before I start reading. See if it pops up. If not, I'll go to the second one. Pop up. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I don't think it's a pop up. Let me see. Looks like they're gonna let me read through this one. Okay. It does have a subscribe button though, so let's read fast. All right. So this is coming from Newsweek. It is dated today's date. Let's go. The Trump administration has confirmed its agreement to cancel student loan debt for eligible borrowers under certain plans following a legal agreement between the American Federation of Teachers and the Department of Education. Newsweek has contacted the Department of Education and AFT via email for comment. Amid the ongoing federal government shutdown, Newsweek received an automated response from the department, which said, "We will respond to emails once government functions resume." The AFT directed Newsweek to its press release when approached for comment. So in other words, neither one of them were going to speak with Newsweek. Okay, moving right along. Well, one can't and the other one didn't. The latest decision marks a major policy pivot for the Trump administration, which previously paused or restricted student loan debt relief through federal income-driven repayment programs. Around 2 to 2.5 million borrowers are either directly enrolled in qualifying plans or were affected by policy shifts in 2025, and the resumption of debt cancellation offers financial relief and legal clarity to Americans who have spent decades making payments on federal student loans. Earlier this year, the Trump administration removed the application to enroll in IDR plans, which is income-based repayment, from government websites and issued an order to government student loan contractors to halt all IDR enrollment and processing, which it said followed court orders. The AFT then sued the administration in March of 2025 for failing to provide congressionally mandated debt relief. And after the lawsuit was filed, the government then resumed forgiving loans for borrowers enrolled in two income-based repayment plans, the income contingent repayment plan and the pay-as-you-earn plan. To qualify for these plans, borrowers typically must have made 20 to 25 years of consecutive qualifying payments, depending on loan origination date and plan enrollment. As of October 2025, these plans account for more than 2 million borrowers. The recent legal settlement filed on October the 17th between the Department of Ed and AFT confirms that the administration will now resume loan cancellation for the two IDR plans, grant payment refunds to eligible borrowers, and provide regular status updates to ensure transparency and compliance with federal law. The agreement also recognizes that borrowers who are eligible to have debts canceled in 2025 will not be forced to pay a tax penalty due to change in tax law as a result of government processing delays or ongoing litigation. Borrowers eligible for relief began receiving Department of Education notifications, in October. The emails outlined options to accept forgiveness or opt out. What the people are saying. AFT President Randi Weingarten said in a statement, quote, "For nearly a decade, the AFT has fought for the rights of student loan borrowers to be free from the shackles of unjust debt. And today, a huge part of that affordability fight was vindicated. This year, we took on the Trump administration when it refused to follow the law and denied borrowers the relief they were owed. Our agreement means that those borrowers stuck in limbo can either get immediate relief or finally see a light at the end of the tunnel. And crucially, they won't ever get taxed on that relief. The AFT will hold the federal government to its word, and we won't stop fighting until college is affordable and taking out student loans doesn't strap millions of Americans in a ruinous and exploitive debt cycle," end quote. What happens next? The Department of Education said most loan discharges will be processed within 2 weeks after October the 21st. All right. What say you, sir?
This is more of what these people or what this young man, Donald John, typically does.
Can we not put young in front of anything describing him?
That young man creates a problem and then reverses and says he fixed the problem. Because although the last administration was not perfect, but they had started the process of loan debt forgiveness and having things removed from your credit scores and, you know, doing things that was moving the needle toward a lot of people having substantive debt relief with regard to student loans. They came in and immediately eliminated all of that, erased it with one fell swoop, said, damn, not the hell, we don't want nobody getting no loan debt, student loan debt relief or recovery, none of it. Then immediately went back to making people make payments and all of that stuff, right? Right?
Yeah.
And now they come out today with this big, hey, we're helping your student loan debt. You mean the problem that you all reenacted just a few months back? I mean, this is what they do. This is what they do because the ego of the man at 1600 Pennsylvania Boulevard is, I want my name on it. I want to get all of the credit for it because I'm a raging narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
All now, to add insult to injury, I don't have the intellectual ability and wherewithal to come up with a plan myself. Rather, I'm going to copy your plan after I eliminated your plan. That's exactly what happened with this fictitious ceasefire in Gaza. Not to get off topic, but Biden procured the exact same deal a year ago, right?
A year ago.
Netanyahu said no, went down there, met in Mar-a-Lago with Trump, and magically said no to the deal. Here we go today, last week or whatever. Now they magically have a deal, and now we see less than a week later, there was never a deal. There was never going to be a deal with Netanyahu because they don't do anything in good faith. And here with the Trump administration, I still question whether or not this is being done in good faith. I really want to read some of the fine print on some of this. And like I said, I just feel like I feel like there should be more than just the people who were making 20 years of consecutive payment, or 20. I don't think it was 20 consecutive. How many?
It was 20 consecutive eligible. Don't forget the eligible part payments.
20 consecutive. We know that many people were underwater and drowning in student loan debt where they could not pay it and pay their bills. Let's be honest here. So you absolutely have eliminated a lot of people from that conversation. I just say blanketly, if somebody has student loan debt south of less than $75,000, you should just forgive that, just writ large. Anybody, if you have $75,000 or less in student loan, just get rid of that wholesalely. At everybody who has that amount or less, just say, you know what, it's forgiven. Hell, if we could nilly-willy give out tens of billions of dollars to Argentina, if we could nilly-willy give out hundreds of $1,000,000 for some fraudulent ballroom that you're building on the back of the White House illegally without going through the agency who's in charge with updating the White House, if we could have the Department of Homeland Security spend almost $200,000 on 2 private jets for them to fly on while we're in a freaking shutdown, God of mercy. Since y'all got all of this money to throw out there, why don't you do something that helps the American people? Oh, because we're not here to help American people. We're here to help our own interests and the interests of billionaires who can help us. Because every billionaire and every major corporation, and I know I'm going long for the beat, has had had some type of handout, has had some type of subsidy, has had some type of way to write off all of their debts or all of their financial troubles. But the American people who want to go and get an education, no, we don't want no parts of that. Let me shut up, really, because you know I could have a whole meltdown on this. I'm gonna shut up.
So this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to agree with what El Teddy said on the front end of it. Well, I mean, I agree with everything you just said, but specifically on the front end of it, please, ladies and gentlemen, what we're not going to do is pat him on the back for giving us something that he took away that we were supposed to have, right? Like, literally, he took away an agreement that had been approved through Congress, and the AFT had to sue him for him to say, okay, fine. The other thing I want us to be clear with, listen, for all of the things that I can disagree with the Biden administration on, the one thing I'm going to always stand up and give him praise is that my student loan debt was forgiven under Biden. And my student loan debt was forgiven under a program that I didn't see in this article, and it was the service program, the public service program, PS something, but it was for people who worked in, so educators, firefighters, policemen, nurses, like people who were like worked in that field, right? And you had to have worked in that field for 10 years to be eligible. PSLF, thank you, the informed, that was what it was. I didn't see that in this paperwork. Now, I might have overlooked it. That was an article that was going over the highlights, but under that program, you had to have worked in that field for 10 years. Now, qualified payments under that program, deferred payments were included, as well as deferred and any type of deferment, which of course a lot of us did do deferments through COVID and just for other reasons. And so I was eligible under that public student loan forgiveness. Thank you. But prior to that program, a lot of the programs that were out there were just like this, that 20-year, 25-year thing. And it was, it was under that, if you qualified payments. And I want to be clear, if you missed your payment by one day, the clock reset. So I just don't know how many people were enrolled in this program. For the people that is going to help, thank God. Especially at a time like right now, thank God. But I'm not jumping up and giving anybody any praise on this, because I feel like this is something that they took away that they're giving us back that they were never supposed to take away. So I can't praise you for stealing from me and then bringing it back, because you took it in the first place and it wasn't yours. So you bringing it back, I'm not going to applaud you for that. And that's just how I feel. I don't know, El Teddy. I mean, you already said your piece, but I mean, you kind of feel what I'm saying.
No, I'm with you 1,000%. I'm with you 1,000%. Don't play with me. Don't play with my emotions. Don't do that.
Yeah, exactly, Yana. He didn't do anything but give back what he had no right to take. Exactly. So, see, this is where I get angry with the media. Why are we making this headline news? Why are we making it seem like Donald Trump gave us something? He didn't. Stop making it seem like he's giving us something. Unless you are going, the headline should have read, Trump loses in court against the AFT that fought for teachers to get their student loans forgiven. That's what the headline should read. But that's not how the headline read. And unless you read through it, you didn't understand that literally you lost the lawsuit. He didn't give us anything. He lost. Well, they settled, but you know what I mean. Anyway, there's that. So for that headline, we wanted to make sure that because y'all know we always try to bring y'all the information. So we wanted to give you that first so you could get that information. Do you want to hop on over to your favorite state, Texas next, El Teddy, or you want to go over to Arizona?
I guess we're riding the wheelchair ramp.
I cannot stand you. Oh, you get on my nerves so bad. I cannot. Why do I do this? Moving on. I cannot. And the thing is, I know that there's, every time Texas comes up, I know it's going to be a joke there somewhere, and I'm always never ready. Moving right along. So we're going to head on over to Texas. This ain't Texas. This is coming from Kira News, NPR for North Texas. Thank you, NPR, for all that you do. Y'all, I know right now times are hard, but if you have it, y'all want to make a donation to NPR and the things of that nature, that'd be a great tax write-off during this holiday season. Again, I know a lot of us, ain't necessarily in that position, but I thought I would throw it out there. All right, so this is an article coming out of Texas. It says half of new Texas teachers aren't certified. Recently passed legislation tries to change that. So let's read through this. Texas' new state funding bill includes money to certify more teachers, but experts say it will take time to fix the growing problem. In 2023-24, more than half of new Texas teachers were uncertified, up from about 11% a decade ago. Bridget Worley, Chief State Impact Officer with the education nonprofit The Commit Partnership, called it a crisis and one that will hurt students. Students who are taught by uncertified teachers with no prior classroom experience lose 3 to 4 months of learning in reading and math. Worley said in a recent Margaret J. Hirsch Women's Forum held in partnership with United to Learn and D Magazine. What's more, she said, uncertified teachers leave the field sooner than certified teachers, impacting students and budgets. Uncertified teachers or those with emergency permits have helped ease the state's ongoing teacher shortage, but now lawmakers are trying to address the issue. Under Texas's new $8.5 billion with a B school funding bill, all K through 12 core teachers must be certified. We need to figure out how to get more certified teachers in our school systems, Worley said. Dallas ISD trustee Ben Mackey said the district hasn't been immune to certification concerns. At the same forum, he said 12% of Dallas current teachers lack certification. And while he also said 20% of new teachers aren't certified, he added that's better than statewide numbers. He attributes that to the district's teacher retention efforts. If we retain our educators at better rates, Mackey said, we have less new teacher vacancies to fill, and we can spend more time developing the new teachers we do bring in. He called it a kind of reinforcing cycle. The better we can do with retaining our best teachers, the less we have to have uncertified teachers, he said. Worley said the legislature budgeted $187 million for teacher preparation and certification programs designed to help qualified candidates attain teacher certification, and she expects more funding in the next session. It's going to continue to be a topic, she said, and not something we can ignore. All right, what you got?
So you got two opposing forces here. On one hand, ma'am, you're talking about trying to retain teachers. On the other hand, Governor Hot Wheels and the Texas Republican legislature are doing everything in their power to fire more teachers on the K through 12 level, as well as on the collegiate level. Like, what are we talking about? You're literally manufacturing reasons to fire teachers. Texas was celebrating that they fired well over 100 teachers because they posted anything that they found problematic about a Charlie Kirk post on those teachers' social medias. That has no bearing on a certification, non-certification, or any of the such. I'm just being honest with you. And the other part, look at the numbers that they read at the beginning of this article are alarming. 10 years ago, only 11% of the teachers were uncertified. Now you have over half. And I'm going to be honest, I don't believe all parts of what the administrator said. Because let's be clear, tons of certified teachers, veteran teachers are getting the hell out of Dodge. Getting the hell out of Dodge. Because it's not worth the frustration. It is not worth the subjugation that comes with it. It damn sure ain't worth some of the mistreatment you get from both sides, from students, parents, and administrators, all sides. And until they really get to the crux of the problem is the fact that there is no respect for the profession of education, they're never going to fix this problem. The toothpaste is too far out of the tube. These governors and legislatures are not going to cede any amount of power or control they have over what happens inside the classroom. They're never going to do that. And so now we're going to see this problem grow exponentially. We know in Florida and other states, they were saying that they were going to hire people who didn't even have degrees. They were saying that at one point they were going to take people that were in the military, non-degreed, and allow them to go start teaching. The vacancies are vast. Every school district from C to Shining Sea has vacancies, and they're doing nothing to make this better. Do we really want to talk about, because we could do a whole live on how and why the pay and respect for teaching is the way it is, because that's a whole history lesson. And when they started to have women go into the workforce, and many of the educated women went into teaching and educating, they began to make the pay of professional educators lower. They began to vilify the the profession. And for people who more often than not are some of the most credentialed professionals in any workforce, they get paid the least. I think I'm rambling now. Go ahead, Reddy B.
So here's the thing. The problem isn't that there are more uncertified teachers in the classroom. The problem is, why are teachers leaving the classroom? Because let's be clear, we don't have a shortage of people who are qualified to teach. We have a shortage of people who want to teach. And until y'all fix that problem, you're going to continue to have a teacher shortage. And it's across the board. The teacher shortage is across the board. I can tell you that in my school, I think people might be shocked at the percentage of teachers in I'm going to just say my county, that are not certified. And so the reality of the situation is, it's not just a Texas problem. And by you passing legislation to say, hey, we're only going to hire certified teachers, this once again, we're dealing with smoke and mirrors, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Please understand that that's already the law. The law is you have to be certified in order to teach. They have made exceptions because they have declared that this is an emergency to hire people and give them a provisional license, which gives them a certain amount of time to get certified. Once again, we are blowing smoke to make it look like we're fixing a problem that's not being fixed. You can pass all the laws you want, but guess what you're going to do? You're going to put teachers in them seats when comes September of every year or August of every year. So you're going to once again find a loophole or find an emergency statute and find a way to hire people who are not qualified. You're not fixing the problem. Passing a law saying we're only going to hire certified teachers when there's nobody showing up at the job fairs and nobody's putting in job applications. Baby, my district had job fairs last year and it was a ghost town. It was tumbleweed blowing through the middle of that gymnasium. Okay? It's not that. It's across the board. So until y'all fix the reason why people don't want to do this anymore, y'all can do all the talking y'all want.
That's all they doing is talking. They ain't serious. They're not serious. All they're doing is talking. They're not serious.
They're just pacifying you. And when I say you guys, I'm not talking about people who are informed, but I'm talking about people who read these articles and they are alarmed that, oh my gosh, 50% of the teachers are uncertified, or the parents that show up at the school board meetings thumping their fists and complaining about their child's teacher not having certification. That's all they're doing. It's once again, it's a headline to pacify people, to make somebody think they're doing something. You're not fixing nothing. You're not fixing nothing. I know people, listen, and El Teddy, once again, you can attest to this because you know this to be true. When I first started teaching, teachers didn't leave during the middle of the school year. Teachers waited. Now, at the maybe some might leave over Christmas break.
That you might get that.
Right, but that was still like, oh my God.
But that was because that was when their timeline was. In most cases, they were on a timeline. That just happened to be when it happened.
Teachers didn't retire during the school year, no matter what their retirement date was. You could have been eligible to retire in October, but if you started that school year 9 times out of 10, you were going to finish. Baby, we got teachers now. We literally had, and El Teddy, this tell you right here, we had an assistant superintendent retire 2 weeks after school started. Because that was her retirement date. She was like, "Oh, y'all not getting a whole," and she is not even in the classroom anymore. And she was like, right. When I went back to work in August, because I'm cool with her because with me working with Title One and stuff, and we were in a Title One meeting back in August, and she said, "I got 7 more days." I said, 7 more days for what? She said for retirement.
Baby, you know what I'm talking about. Don't play around.
I said retirement.
Baby, she said, don't act brand new. You know what this is.
She made sure that her schools opened up. She met with her principals. And baby, when I say the first 2, she was gone. Gone.
Appreciate you.
Right. So people just didn't, when I first started teaching, people did not do that. Baby, because let me tell you what people used to do. El Teddy, you know this what they used to do. Now this what they might have done. Now, El Teddy know this. They might have used up their leave.
Until
it was
right. Depending on the school district, they only gonna pay you maybe 75%.
Right, they ain't gonna give you all that leave.
80%. They ain't gonna give you the 100%. So like, girl, let me get my money. Let me get all my days.
Let me use up this good leave money because I'm not leaving nothing on the table.
Nothing.
Baby, I had a teacher one time. She was taking off like 2 days a week. She said, "Oh, I'm gonna work to the end of the year." And my principal knew what it was. It wasn't no thing. She told, that, and again, and that's the other thing too. Principals and teachers had relationships. So the teacher would say, "Listen, I'm gonna retire in June. I'm going to give you one last year, but I'm using up my leave. So just let you know now, most Fridays and Mondays I ain't gonna be here." And the principal said, "All right, cool. Thanks for letting me know. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make the adjustments as needed." And guess what? The kids didn't miss nothing. Kids ain't miss a beat. Because that teacher was old school and she had her classroom set up and in order. So whenever that sub came in on Friday or Monday, but guess what? I bet you them kids did what they were supposed to do.
And didn't play with her.
And did not play with her. Xavier said, "I've never had a teacher retire in the middle of the year, but once a teacher took a sabbatical from January to April and then retired after that." Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People would use up their leave. So I say all that to say this, you guys. I've told y'all this before. I told y'all this before when we first started this podcast. I told y'all, as parents, you guys have a right to know, and you need to find out: are your kids being taught by certified teachers? And if your child is in a private school or a charter school, that is even more crucial because a lot of private schools and charter schools do not have that mandate.
And I know in most public schools, it's very few and far between. Most public schools have to tell you at the beginning of the school year, they have to send paperwork out to you saying,
well, I know in Title I schools they have to. In Title I schools they are mandated. Because again, that's one of the things I have to make sure we do.
Yeah, that your child is being taught by a non-certified, and even if a teacher is certified overall but not certified in the area that they are teaching, they have to send that out as well. Yeah. Because I fought a lot of union fights about people saying, "Why they sending this out about me?" And I used to have to be like, "Because you're not certified to teach that subject."
Yeah, we've had that conversation. So anyway, I wanted to let you guys know that. I'm sorry. All right. Well, that's that. What's the next thing? You want to go to Arizona? We got time. We think we might have time to hit that other article. What was the other article you said?
That was the one with the special ed.
Okay, so let's do Arizona, and then let's see where we are with special ed. Okay, let's do that one. All right. The Guardian, y'all. This is coming from The Guardian. University of Arizona becomes 7th U.S. college to reject Trump's compact. Now, we've told y'all about this compact. So let's read what's going on down to the University of Arizona, which is interesting that it's coming out of Arizona, but let's read through it. Excuse me. The University of Arizona has become the 7th U.S. university to reject a Trump administration proposal that would grant school funding priority if they agree to support the administration's conservative agenda. The decision follows the administration's push for 9 universities to sign a compact for academic excellence in higher education, which seeks to make sweeping change to campus culture, hiring and admissions practices, and foreign student enrollment. Demands from the Trump administration's 10-point compact include reforms to the way race or ethnicity are used in admission, and hiring practices, as well as a commitment to strict definitions of gender, among others. The deadline for universities to provide their initial feedback on the draft of the compact is October 20th. They wrote that weird. In a letter to the Department of Education sent on Monday, Suresh Garmila, the University of Arizona president, said that the principles like academic freedom, merit-based research funding, and institutional independence are foundational and must be preserved. We seek no special treatment and believe in our ability to compete for federally funded research strictly on merit. Gamelia, I hope I said her name right. Garamella. Oh, okay. Said in the letter. Oh, like, okay. Okay. Along with rejecting the administration's compact, the university attached a statement of principles, which included its commitment to Title VII of the Civil Rights Act and other federal and state anti-discrimination laws. The move comes after 6 other universities, which include Brown, Dartmouth College, MIT, University of Pennsylvania, the University of Southern California, and the University of Virginia, also rejected the proposal, while Vanderbilt University and the University of Texas at Austin have not yet declined the proposal. Daniel Dermeyer, the Vanderbilt chancellor, did not outright reject the proposal and instead said the university would provide the government with more feedback in the future of higher education. He also said that Vanderbilt participated in a meeting held by Trump officials on Friday, convening universities to gather input and feedback from the school about the proposal. He also suggested that Vanderbilt's core principles were at odds with the demands of the compact. Our North Star has always been that academic freedom, free expression, and independence are essential for universities to make their virtual and singular contributions to society, he said in the statement. We also believe that research awards should be made based on merit alone. This merit-based approach has enabled the scholarly and scientific excellence that has driven American health, security, and prosperity for decades. It must be preserved. UT Austin did not immediately respond to a request for comment from The Guardian. Kevin Eltief, UT System Board of Regents chair, said the system was honored that UT Austin was selected to be a part of the Trump administration proposal. According to the Texas Tribune, students and faculty at UT Austin have raised concerns about academic freedom, leading alumni to create a petition urging the university to not sign the proposal. The petition has received more than 1,400 signatures. The compact also requires colleges to freeze tuition for 5 years, implement a 15% cap of international undergraduates in the student body, ensure a vibrant marketplace of ideas on campus, and to create a more welcoming environment for conservatives. Universities that decide to sign the compact are promised multiple positive benefits, including substantial and meaningful federal grants. Amid the wave of rejection, the Trump administration extended the invitation to other universities, including Washington University in Louisville, the University of Kansas, and Arizona State University, according to the Wall Street Journal. Earlier this month, Trump wrote on social media that much of higher education has lost its way and is now corrupting our youth and society with woke, socialist, and anti-American ideology, and that institutions that want to quickly return to the pursuit of truth and achievement were invited to enter into a forward-looking agreement with the federal government to help bring about the golden age of academic excellence in higher education.
I have a lot to say about this.
I'm not surprised.
Don't do me.
I'm disagreeing with you.
So, a parallel to this is what we saw last week. Last week was the deadline for news outlets to sign that agreement by the Department of Defense if they were going to keep their press credentials. And what happened was all of the media outlets and journalists said no, except for one organization, a right wing or the OAN decided that they were going to be the only ones, and they were. And all of the other people packed their stuff and left. And what happened was this administration again overplayed their hand. It's like you playing spades, you only count your trump. You forgot that there's other people that got Trump sitting at the table. Or you playing bid whiz and you didn't count the books. You don't know how to count books. You're only looking at what you got, not knowing how to count the books. And I feel like because they've had so many successes, because they've been able to browbeat people, because so many entities and so many safeguards have willfully, preemptively bent the knee, they just make this assumption now everybody's going to do that on any and everything we want them to do it on. And we're seeing now some people are starting to try to say, well, no, that's a step too far. Well, it's been a damn step too far. And so now these universities, because let's be clear, the universities at the beginning of this administration started to capitulate. He told them, get rid of these departments. And we reported over and over and over and over and over these universities going with what he said. He sues them. They know this is illegal. They know they can win this in court. But instead of staying with it and actually have him take them to court and prove that they cannot do that, they just say, well, damn, we're just going to settle and give him what he wants so we can keep our government federal fundings. And now they seem to believe that he's going to stop. Now he's not going to stop. Now this is just a few schools, but let me talk to some of these presidents at these universities, and I'm going to talk to Democrats right now as well. I mentioned this yesterday, even when I was live yesterday. Trump's attack on colleges falls right in line with the Biden-Harris administration. Because the last summer, we were here on Teacher Project 2.0, and I would be screaming from the rooftop. Really, B was looking at me like I was crazy, like she always does. But I was screaming from the rooftops about how at these universities, the Biden-Harris administration was sanctioning and thumbing up the arrest of students peacefully protesting. They wanted to silence students. They wanted to silence. We did stories about professors that were getting arrested and fired because they chose to participate in peaceful protests. We did all of those stories, and this happened under a Democratic administration. We watched them denigrate several female university presidents during last administration. Remember, we had Dr. Claudine Gay. Remember that whole situation where she ended up being vilified as president of Harvard University. She ended up losing her job. This thing has been going for a long time. This thing has been going for a while. And now all of a sudden, oh, our academic freedom is in peril. It's been in peril. You started this road abdicating your freedoms, abdicating your roles, being able to provide a space for people to be edified, for people to be enlightened, for people to learn about all sorts of things. And you have not, you notice Texas, University of Texas, Austin said, oh, we're here for all of it. Immediately.
Oh, yeah, they said we're honored.
All of it.
We're honored to be asked. Yeah.
We're here for all of it.
Oh, yeah.
All of it. But now you're starting to see people push back. But again, is the toothpaste going to be able to go back into the tube? Because every time there was a lawsuit, really, be what happened? They decided to settle and bend the knee. I'm waiting for one of these lawsuits to make it all the way to adjudication, to a ruling. You see what I'm saying? Because please be clear, he's going to there's going to be repercussions for the schools that say no. He's going to pull federal funding and dare them to say, yeah, what you gonna do now? You're gonna take me to court. Let's see how that goes. And to be clear, while there may still be some lower courts, some district judges that may side with those universities. A lot of these appellate courts, when it gets to the appellate level, in some of the even some of the more liberal circuits we've been seeing, they have been giving him unfettered control, where the district judge will say, "Oh, I'm going to put a restraining order or stop him from doing this," and they go to and the Trump administration appeals, and that appellate court says, "Well, I'm just going to remove the restraining order. Let him go. We'll just wait till it's figured out in court." And what that means is, while you're waiting, he has free reign to do all of the things, to withhold funds and do all of the horrible things until that case gets adjudicated, which could take years. Sometimes these cases take years. And that means those schools are going without funding for years, whatever whatever treatment or whatever inappropriate recourses that the administration has had on those universities is allowed to stand for years. So again, my point is, y'all did not stand for this for academic freedom and freedom of expression when it came to the students. And now that it's your turn, now you want to stand on business. I don't know what to tell you, because it's not going to end like this. It's not going to go the way they think it's going to go. We're here. We're in the authoritarian dictatorship.
So I'm confused. Do you want them to fight or not?
They can fight, but what I'm saying is, like I said at the end, I don't believe it's going to go the way they want it to go. The toothpaste is too far out of the tube on it. That's what I'm saying. And what I'm also saying is,
just let it just sit back and just, I mean, I don't understand. I'm confused.
What I'm saying is, if you're going to be for academic freedom, it needs to be for everybody. If you want to be for freedom of expression, it needs to be for everybody, not just for administration, not just when he slaps your hand, university presidents and provosts and deans. It needs to be for the entirety of that university, to include the student body.
I get it, but what I'm saying is, we're here now. So I'm saying, like, what, they're not supposed to fight? Like, I'm confused.
What I'm saying is, if even at this point, when they do try to fight, it's not going to go the way they want it to go. I'm not saying don't fight, but what I'm saying is, they caused this. They allowed this. They allowed it to be at this point. And so you're fighting way after the fact, when had you fought at the beginning, maybe we wouldn't be here.
Okay. Okay, got you. Got it. All right. Well, I don't really have anything to add to that article, if I'm being honest. I don't really have anything to add. I don't.
And another thing I have to add to that is really just seeded me more time.
I didn't think that's what I did, but okay.
I think you just seeded me more time.
I don't think that's what that was, but okay, go
the
ahead.
The scary part of all of this is, with where K through 12 education is, with the diminution of true instruction and pedagogy that's going on in K through 12 education, the last stand to provide the next generations or generations to come with worthwhile education, instruction, and so forth was colleges, for that matter. I know tons of Black people that say they didn't even learn about Black history until they got to college and was able to take certain courses and things like that. And now that that is happening on the collegiate level, please be clear. It's not, we're in a bad place. I look at Texas and the way that the University of Texas so quickly folded. Texas Southern, is that a state school?
Oh, I don't know.
I believe Southern is a state school. I believe Prairie View is also a state school. I know Quake is in the chat. She probably can tell me. But if I'm not mistaken, Texas Southern and Prairie View are two state schools. The point that I'm making is when that state says, yes, we're going to comply, and all of our universities are going to comply, that includes HBCUs that are state schools. So when they say they're taking all of that stuff out, they are taking it out of all of the state schools, whether it's PWI, whether it's HBCU. And that is the other scary part, because it's going to start to affect.
Yes, they're state schools. Yeah.
Okay. So that means that it's going to start to affect us even more at institutions where we have expectation that we're going to have the ability to teach our history, to speak to Black issues, to have programs and initiatives that are for us.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Reclaiming my time.
You get to reclaim it?
I just did. I mean, moving right along. Well, we do have time. We have 9 minutes. If you would like to go through the other article, or do you want to end it here and go ahead so you can get to your show on time?
Do you think we could do it in 9 minutes?
I think I can.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you can. All right, you guys, let's get to this. Okay, let's get to this. All right, y'all. Tennessee should fully fund special education pre-K, West Tennessee School District said. So this is coming from Yahoo News, and it goes, and it's dated October the 21st. This story was originally published in Chalkbeat. Okay, so if you guys are not familiar with Chalkbeat, that's a really good resource as well. Tennessee school districts have been footing the bill for special education pre-kindergarten classes, and now they want lawmakers to allocate money for it in the state school funding model. Some districts are pulling hundreds of thousands of dollars from their K-12 budgets to provide classrooms with students as young as 3 with disabilities while receiving limited federal funding and no recurring state dollars. More than 9,900 student pre-K students, in Tennessee require special education services per a February 2025 state analysis. Federal disability law requires schools provide services to these students who often need expensive therapies and extra teachers. But the state's Tennessee Investment and Student Achievement Act formula adopted in 2022 doesn't factor them in and only provides per student funding once they enter kindergarten. The Germantown Municipal School District is spending over $800,000 yearly to run special education preschool. It only receives around $23,000 in state grant funding. Each preschool classroom requires a highly specialized team, a duly certified teacher, 2 paraprofessionals, therapists, and sometimes a nurse, said the Germantown Superintendent, Jason Manuel. The total cost per classroom can range from $143,000 to more than $200,000 annually, depending on the student needs and staffing. In September, the Lakeland School System Board of Education unanimously approved a resolution urging lawmakers to amend the Tennessee Investment and Student Achievement Act formula to include special education pre-K students. The resolution renews a statewide Tennessee School Board Association lobbying push to address the funding gap after a bill to amend the TISA formula called in the General Assembly in early 2025. If the federal government and state government is going to require this, then I think it's essential that we address this, said Representative Mark White, a Shelby County Republican who sponsored the 2025 legislation. Next year, White plans to push again for pre-K funding, though he acknowledges the estimated cost of fully funding the program has stalled progress on the issue. Financial analysis at the legislature estimate the previous bill would cost the state more than $159 million annually, but local educators think the estimate was skewed and overestimated how many children will be included in the program? We are asking whatever the figure is, give us 20% of it, give us 40% of it. It needs to be reoccurring dollars, and it doesn't make sense, White said, noting districts need to be able to rely on recurring funds rather than less stable grant funding. Last year, the Germantown district served 56 preschool students with disabilities ranging from development delays to hearing impairment who require services such as physical and speech therapy. And because of the certain federal laws mandating class size and educating special education students, alongside more general education peers, Germantown enrolled 65 other students in the program and spread students across 8 classrooms. Lakeland Schools last year staffed 4 classrooms with 34 special education pre-K students aged 3 through 5 and served 25 general education students in the same classroom. Costs run more than $617,000 annually, which Lakeland Schools must pull from other programs funded through TISA. Over the past several years, Germantown and Lakeland have worked together to raise awareness on this funding gap. Our school boards and leadership teams have met with the legislators and even the governor's finance team to advocate for a fix. Everyone agrees it's needed, but it hasn't yet been included in the governor's budget. District leaders in West Tennessee say they've encountered fundamental misunderstandings on how special education pre-K programs work and are funded even by state officials responsible for education oversight. Another reason this issue has been overlooked is confusion at the state level between voluntary pre-K programs and special education preschool programs. Manuel said voluntary pre-K serves at-risk students based on income, while special education preschool serves students aged 3 through 5 with developmental delays and disabilities. It's not optional. It's required by law. And then it goes on to talk about teacher pay. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there because I think we have the gist of it in the essence of time. Go ahead, Doc, because I got something to say.
I knew you would. I think that these are the stories that get lost in the headlines. These are the things that when we talk about the funding of education, this is what gets lost in the shuffle. Something as integral as this, which is pre-K instruction and education for special needs students in special education, be that developmental needs or physical ailments and any other special needs education. And we know there's countless studies that say the earlier that you start them in the educational process, the better off they will be later on. This is an investment in This is a direct investment in your citizenry. This is a direct investment into the lives of people. Certainly, all of those parents that pay taxes into not only that municipality, but that state, as well as that our federal government, should know and believe that their tax dollars absolutely can be used in a manner that helps with the education and to provide the accommodations and the extra added help that that child needs so that they can be given what's due to them, a quality education, just like any able-bodied student. And personally, I don't even think pre-K should be voluntary. Pre-K should be paid and funded, period. No questions asked. Fully paid and funded. The fact that we're having this argument is just horrific. We call ourselves the richest nation in the world and the first world country, and all of these quote unquote pro-life people who are only pro-life until the child is born, because they want no parts of what it takes to truly take care of that life. Because Tennessee is one of those states that have basically banned all abortions. Tennessee, who we're talking about here. But yet, if that child comes and has any developmental problems, have any physical ailments, what you're saying is, yeah, we don't have the money to pay for that. and it's in your law. You read that part really be where they said this is not optional. This is the law that they passed, but they don't want to fund it. And even if the federal government releases a whole bunch of funds to them, we've done stories on Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, and several other places where they don't do right by those funds. This is a travesty all around. Go ahead, Rudy B. Let me shut up.
So correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to make sure that I'm not misremembering. I think that Tennessee.
They were that state, yes.
Okay.
The one that said they was sending money back?
Okay.
Yeah, that was them. That was them.
I knew where I was going.
I knew where you were going. I knew that's why I said, that's them. That's them.
Listen, let me be clear. I feel for every student that needs the service that's not getting the service. I do. Full stop. But let me tell you what I don't feel. I feel no sense of anything for the state of Tennessee, because the state of Tennessee told the Department of Education to kiss its ass. The state of Tennessee said we will not guarantee equal funding for all of our students. And because the federal government puts certain stipulations on federal funding as it relates to special education and other sources under the Biden administration, we know we talk about 2025. But in 2023, when they referenced this article, this law being passed, Tennessee was telling the Department of Education to kiss its ass. That is when school choice, and they said that we are not going to follow your federal guidelines. We are going to give the money to the districts we want to give the money to. We're going to give the money how we want to give the money. We're going to give out as many vouchers as we want to give out. We are not going to guarantee special education services. That's what the state of Tennessee said. And what the state of Tennessee said was, we'll pay for it out of our own pocket. Now, fast forward 2 years, they realized, oh, shit, we don't have as much money as we thought we had.
They're just going to change the law. You know what's going to happen.
Well, I get that. Listen, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, we're now dealing with chickens coming home to roost. You're dealing with what you said you wanted. Okay, you got it. This is what you said you wanted. You got it. Cool. You got it. And again, I feel for every single child that's not getting those resources. I feel for every single frustrated parent that is looking for resources for their child in the state of Tennessee. But here's where I'm going to say to all of those parents, number one, who did you vote for? Because Tennessee's a red state, is it not?
It is.
So number one, who do you vote for? And number two, who you going to vote for next? What school, how loud you going to get? How many meetings are you going to go to and turn over tables for your child? Who's running for the school board? Who's running for mayor? Who's running for state legislature? Because this started on the state level. Forget about president right now. Forget about Congress right now. This started on the state level. So who you going to vote for? Whose office are you going to go sit in front of? See, how much noise are you going to make? Because when the state legislature said, we don't want federal funds because we don't want the federal government to tell us what to do with our schools. Were you cheering? Were you like, yeah, states' rights? That's all. And listen, and people can say that's mean, but at the end of the day, we got to start having some hard conversations about people dealing with the consequences of the decisions that they made. And see, you thought that your kid was going to be special. You thought your kid didn't live in the area that they were talking about. You thought your kid was going to be good until he wasn't.
I do want to interject here.
Of course you do. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm just joking.
For not just Tennessee, but many of these states like Tennessee, the strength of the black vote has been diluted through decades and decades of not decades and decades, but since Shelby v. Holder, and the gutting of the Voters' Right Act. What was that? 2013 or 20? Shelby V. Holder. That allowed all of this foolery that we see now, and the gutting of the Voters' Rights Act. The fact that they can gerrymander these districts all they want, and now we're just getting ready to get rid of all of it writ large, and just it's just going to be wide open out here. It's going to be wide open. And so I don't know that it's going to get any better before it gets any before it gets worse.
Yeah. So that's all I had to say about that. I mean, honestly, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm cold, because I feel for every child that doesn't get what they need, Black, white, Democrat, Republican, like independent. I do. But I also, listen, we told y'all before, and I'll continue to say, elections have consequences. And when you are a one-track voter, when you are a one issue, thank you, I couldn't get the word out, one issue voter, unfortunately, the issues that you didn't maybe think about, or you didn't think were going to affect you, they come back and they bite you in the butt. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say other than that. And again, I don't wish any ill will towards any child. I don't want nobody to walk away with that as my message. But I also know that, just like me and El Teddy always tell you, we were yelling from the rafters 2 years ago when Tennessee was one of the first, if not the first, one of the first states to say, we don't want your money, because we want to do what we want to do, and we don't want the federal government to tell us what we can and can't do with our kids. They were one of the first ones to do it, and I didn't hear anybody saying no. So with that being said, that was it. El Teddy, for those of you who came in late, El Teddy promised that we'll have a new intro for 2026. I'm sorry, not a new intro, a intro. For 2026, he said that he will have the intro for us. I'm supposed to check. Hold on, I know okay. We're supposed to check. Hold on, let me check. Give me a quick second.
While she's checking, thank you to the Informed for your Cash App, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, let's look.
While he's telling me I need an outro too. The Informed, I need you to are you gonna work with me to do all of the editing that I have to do? Because really, me just gonna sit there and just say, "Is it done yet?" While I have to do the hours of editing and heavy lifting. That's what she gonna do.
What?
I know what.
Okay, you guys, we need 4,000 watch hours. We have 2,684 watch hours. So we need a little under, we need about, give or take, I'm not doing the math real fast in my head. Give or take, we need about 1,300 and something watch hours, 12, 16. So yeah, if everybody could just, we have 2 months to get it done, a little over 2 months. Listen, if everybody just watches 2 or 3 episodes, we can make it happen. And we appreciate everybody who's been helping us with that. So I'm gonna start doing a countdown on my channel every day. I think when people are reminded daily, it sort of helps along in that process as well. But that's all we have, you guys. Don't forget, y'all know we're getting ready to head over to El Teddy's house in a few minutes. And then I'll be doing a tribe meeting after him. I'll probably go on around 7 o'clock ish so that he can get his time in. He's reclaiming his time, Anyway, with that being said, you guys, we're gonna be out of here. Here's where the outro would go. Bye. Here's the outro. Right here.
A mess.